there's a major shift happening in the pre-sale condo market, especially in the Fraser Valley. And I don't think anyone's talking about this because most of the people that are in the pre-sale market, whether agents or people looking in the pre-sale market, probably haven't even seen the change come to effect yet. I've seen this across 2 projects, and the change that's coming up, it's not a new rule that is going to change things for investors or developers. It's a strategic move made by the developers to make more money on these pre-sale condos. And the change that is coming is some developers have been testing getting rid of 1-bedroom condos to introduce the idea of having only junior 2-bedroom condos as a replacement. So why is that happening, and why is that bad for the average investor? I'm gonna run the numbers for you in this video and you'll understand what I'm talking about. So a 1-bedroom condo in the Fraser Valley right now, if you're shopping anywhere low-rise wood frame building, it's probably gonna cost you around $400,000 for a 500 square foot condo with AC, parking, storage locker, etc., all that stuff. 400 to 420 maybe, depending on the location and the quality of the build and what the unit comes with and what facing, all that stuff. If you do the math on dollar per square foot, that comes to around $800 a square foot, maybe $810, $815. But that's on the higher end. But $800 a square foot is where you're going to be when you're looking at a 1-bedroom condo right now in the Fraser Valley for around $400,000. Now, what developers are doing is they're getting rid of that 1-bedroom condo and replacing it with a junior 2-bedroom condo. And a junior 2-bedroom condo looks exactly like the 1-bedroom condo, except that it has a den that has a closet, and they call it a junior 2-bedroom condo. Same rectangular shape floor plan that is like the 1-bedroom. But now the size has gone from 500 square feet to 575 square feet. Yes, you have gotten more square footage, but here's the kicker. The price went from $400,000 to $500,000. There's 2 major sites that launched these units, and they sold about 40 units. And I'm talking in Surrey right now. This will carry out into Langley, into different areas as this gets more successful across developers, etc. So now when you do the math on the junior 2-bedroom condo, when in pre-construction, when a condo is compared $1 per square foot to each other as a floor plan, the smallest floor plan is the highest $1 per square foot. And the bigger the unit gets, the lower the $1 per square foot should come. If you look at 1-bedroom, 1-bed and den, the 1-bed and den is cheaper in $1 per square foot because that's where it makes sense. You want more space, but you want to pay a little bit less price per square foot. A 2-bedroom is not the same as 1-bedroom when it comes to $1 per square foot. But in the case of a junior 2-bedroom, what the introduction has been now is a 575 square feet to 600 square feet on average, but mostly 575 square feet units are now being sold at $500,000. Your comparison to a 1-bedroom floor plan just went from $800 a square foot to $870 a square foot. You just went up $70 a square foot on that unit. You're getting a bigger unit, but you're paying a lot more money than you should by about $40,000. If you were doing a calculation, apple to apple, per square foot at $800, you should be around $450 to $460, $60,000 for that junior 2-bedroom condo. But developers are making that extra $40,000 premium just because they're advertising it as a junior 2-bedroom condo. Even in reality, it should have actually gotten cheaper by $1 per square foot. And people that are buying these junior 2-bedroom condos are actually uneducated, uninformed on the idea on how pre-sale condos work in the first place. And what surprises me is how many agents sell these junior 2-bedroom condos. If you've gone to any investor that bought a junior 2-bedroom condo in 21, 22, or even 23, and you ask them what is the outcome that you had with this junior 2-bedroom condo, they will tell you that a lot of times they have appraisal issues. A lot of times they don't rent out for the money that they hoped that they would rent out for. Because people think that a junior 2-bedroom condo is going to rent out for $300 or $400 more, but in reality that's not the case. Maybe you will pull extra $50 to $100. But the price you're paying is about $100,000 different from a 1-bedroom condo. And it's not a coincidence that they went this route. So more and more people need to understand, if they're gonna put money in pre-sale condos, is that the $1 per square foot cost is where your baseline starts. And then you do the math on how much premium you wanna pay for a location, for a developer, for the style of the unit, whatever that the unit comes with. But simply doing the change from 1-bedroom to a junior 2-bedroom, developers are making $40,000 to $50,000 more per unit. And you know the crazy part is? This was tested in 22 and 23. where they introduced the idea of junior 2-bedroom condos, taking it from 1-bedroom den and then put the junior 2-bedroom tag. They made money on those, and they said, hey, why are we even doing the 1-bedroom dens? They got rid of those. And then said, hey, why are we even doing the 1-bedroom condo now? Because when an investor used to look at a 1-bedroom at $400,000 and a junior 2-bedroom at $500,000, they said, hey, there's $100,000 price difference. Why am I even looking at the junior 2-bedroom? Because there was a comparison. Now the developer said, don't even give them a comparison. Just take that 1-bedroom away and say the cheapest unit we have, the lowest price point that we have is a junior 2-bedroom condo starting in the high $400,000. You don't believe me? Go look at the 2 main recent launches that happened in Surrey, and you'll find that that is what's happened. And it's gonna continue happening the longer the uninformed, uneducated buyers continue to buy these, whether they're first-time buyers or investors. That is what's going to happen. I'm all about paying more money for more square footage, but you need to look at your math and do the math on dollar per square foot. The larger the unit gets, the lower the dollar per square foot costs come. If a studio is selling for $900 square foot, a 1-bedroom should be at $850. I'm giving you general math here. If a 1-bedroom selling at $850, a 1-bedroom den should be closer to $800 square foot. If you're buying a 1-bedroom den at $800 square foot, a 2-bedroom should be anything lower than $750 square foot. This is general math. You should go lower in the dollar per square foot cost as the units gets bigger. So I'm hoping that this helps you, whoever's watching this, that if you're thinking about buying a condo, just go for the simple 1-bedroom den. This will rent out for the money that you're looking at. It'll carry its weight. For a $400,000 purchase, 20% down, you're looking at about $1,600 monthly payment. With strata, everything in, you're looking at like $1,850, $1,900. That is what you'll get for rent right now anywhere in the Fraser Valley for a new condo. But for a junior 2-bedroom at $500,000 purchase price, your payment just went up by $350. You're never gonna make that money back in rent. And even when you go sell it, no one's gonna pay you that extra $100,000 that you just paid to the developer. Maybe you'll get $20,000 more, but you just lost $80,000 buying that junior 2-bedroom compared to a 1-bedroom condo. Hopefully that helps you guys.